L2d Parallelism is a grammatical skill that will help your writing become more clear, and it can be especially applied to anything that involves a list or comparing items. This target, like most of our grammar target, asks at the 3 level that you can correctly use parallelism. At the 2 level, you're going to be inconsistent or make some errors, and at the 1 level, you attempt but are incorrect. At the 4 level, you can not only use parallelism, but your usage is seamless, so absolutely no errors, and enhances your meaning, making it more clear and precise. So what is parallelism? Well, to put it plainly, it's balance between 2 or more similar words, phrases, or clauses. But I want to break it down into 4 key rules for you and show you some examples of what it looks like. Rule 1 is that you would use parallelism to balance nouns with nouns, verbs with verbs, prepositional phrases with prepositional phrases, and so on. The key here is that whatever grammatical form you are using in a list, you use throughout the entire list, or comparison, as the case may be. As an example, she likes books, horses, and cookies. Notice that each one of these items in the list is a single plural noun. Okay? We're not adding any words to describe them. We're being clear and concise and using just nouns. Another example, and this will be with a prepositional phrase, she writes before breakfast, during lunch, and after school. Each item in my list begins with a prepositional word before, during, and after to help maintain parallelism and be very clear. The second rule is that you would use parallelism with elements in a list or in a series. We just saw that with these 2 examples here. In one, we're listing things that she likes, and in the second, we're listing things that she does and when she does them. The third rule is to use with elements being compared. As an example, she would rather write than sleep. We're using 2 verbs here, write and sleep. We're using them in the same grammatical format. We're not changing them into a prepositional or a participle phrase by adding an ing. She would rather be writing than sleep. We're just being clear and concise and using the same form, write versus sleep. You can also use it in Rule 4 with elements joined by a linking verb or word. She not only writes, but also reads. And again, we're using a verb here. We're using the same form. We're using the S ending, and then we're using it as the main verb without a helping verb form. I think sometimes with parallelism it can help to see what some bad examples look like to compare to our own writing. So I've got 4 bad examples here, and then they're fixed versions on the right-hand side. So the first bad example, listing format, my mother likes cooking and to read. In this example, we have an ing on cook, and we have a to with read to introduce the verb. We can fix this by choosing either one of these options. I chose to go with my mother likes cooking and reading, but you could just as correctly say my mother likes to cook and to read. The advantage of cooking and reading is that you're cutting out words. The second example, she prefers watching TV over to read a book. Notice this just sounds funny to the ear because we've got too much going on right here, and it's not the over that's the problem. What we have is watching, ing, with to read, a different verb format again, just like we had in that first example. We could fix this, again, either way, but I chose she prefers watching TV over reading a book. ing, parallel structure. The third example, to learn is understanding the world. Again, we're looking at verb formats here. We have to learn versus understanding, and we need to fix that one way or the other. To learn is to understand the world. Works just fine. Finally, the teacher wants her students not only to try, but also succeeding. And this sentence gets a bit more complex. This is where I tend to see more errors occurring with this particular grammatical technique. So that's what you want to keep an eye on, those complex sentences. But the teacher wants her students not only to try, but also succeeding involves 2 verbs, one again with that to, and the other with the ing. We need to pick one or the other. The teacher wants her students not only to try, but also to succeed. We could just as easily say, the teacher wants her students not only trying, but also succeeding. And it's up to you, whichever route you want to take, so long as they are parallel. When we talk about what parallelism looks like in our writing, which is your ultimate and final application here, you're really just looking to make sure you have no errors in the writing that you're already doing. This is going to require looking at sentences that involve listing or involve comparing 2 items. In this particular paragraph, I don't have a whole lot of that going on. So I'll read through it. My first goal is to look for anything that involves 2 or more items. The American economy needs both college graduates and vocational specialists. According to a study done by the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, by 2018, nearly 1/3 of American job openings will require vocational training. 1/3 is a significant number of positions, and the nation's ability to fill them or not could have long-ranging effects on our economy. With such a high need for vocational workers, it is important, that more training be provided in secondary education. I only have a sentence in here that deals with 2 or more items. That's the very first. The American economy needs both college graduates and vocational specialists. I just want to check and make sure that I am using parallel structure. Here, I have 2 nouns with modifying phrases. So we have college graduates and vocational specialists. College modifies graduates, which ends with an S. It's a plural noun. Vocational modifies specialist, which ends with an S, is a plural noun. I am parallel, and therefore the sentence is correct, making the entire paragraph correct and good to go for L2D.